Hello everybody, welcome back to the sessions on power electronics by Ramana. This is the 38th session in this series and we are going to continue revision which started in the last session. In the last session we have revised the syllabus pertaining to midterm examination 1, that is the concepts which were discussed in the units 1 and 2, power electronic devices and converters, based on midterm 1 model question paper. And in this session, we will continue the same for the midterm 2 examination. Again, to start with, midterm 2 examination comprise the syllabus for unit 3 and 4, that is AC regulators and choppers and inverters and cycloconverters. So in this session particularly we will revise the concepts learnt in 3 and 4 for midterm 2 examination based on the prescribed model question paper in the curriculum. And the other question paper patterns already we know it, and also in the last session we have discussed it. Now just we will go through the questions and answers for this session. This is mid-sem 2 model question paper. Part A consists of 4 questions. There is no choice. You have to answer all. The first question is, give the classification of choppers or classify the choppers or write the classification of choppers, whatever. And second one is, list any 2 applications of AC voltage regulators. These 2 questions comprise from unit 3 and course objective 3. We will go through those answers. Classification of choppers. Classification of choppers is made based on the direction of output voltage or load voltage V0 and current I0 as follows. You need not write it as a sentence, simply put the heading as classification of choppers, and the classification goes on like this: 1 quadrant chopper, 2 quadrant chopper and 4 quadrant chopper. This is sufficient. Actually, the question comprises of only 1 mark. It is a 1 mark question. So classification, the main classification you have to write it as 1 quadrant chopper, 2 quadrant chopper and 4 quadrant chopper. But this will not have the full meaning of the classification. So also make a habit of writing irrespective of the marks asked total classification, as this is a basic question. So under the 1 quadrant chopper, again class A and class B choppers come, or you can mention in whatever way you want to write it. Either you can write it as class A and B choppers, 1 and 2 quadrant second quadrant, first and second quadrant choppers, or step down, step up chances, the choppers like that. And under 2 quadrant choppers, again class C and class D, and 4 quadrant choppers, there is only one class C choppers. That is how you have to answer the classification of choppers. Next question is, you are asked to write the answer, that is applications of AC voltage regulators. Any 2 applications. You are asked to write only 2 applications. So from the listed down applications, you can write any of the application you want. AC magnet controls, that is just by controlling the input voltage to the magnetic coil, obviously magnetic flux will be varied and magnetic strength will be varied. That is what is the basic of this AC magnetic control. So you can write any application: speed control of induction motors, either single phase and polyphase, on-load transformer tap changing, industrial heating and domestic heating, induction heating, lighting illumination control in AC power circuits. So likewise, from the list, you can write the answers for any two applications. And next 3 and 4 come from the fourth chapter, that is classify inverters in any one aspect, only one aspect. There is a very big classification for inverters. You are asked to write the classification from only one aspect. Next, list any two applications of cycloconverters, any two applications only. So again, go back to the slides for third question, classification of inverters. There is a very wide classification based on different aspects. Classification of inverters, the first aspect is based on number of phases. Second is based on the nature of driving source, computation of SCR, shape of output voltage, connection with the load, type of the circuit, circuit configuration. So from any one aspect, you are asked to write down the classification. That is, if you want to write the answer from the aspect of classification of inverters based on the circuit configuration, mention that the classification of the circuit configuration, classification of inverters based on circuit configuration, write down the two types, that is half bridge inverter, full bridge inverter. If you want to write the classification same based on the type of connection, mention the aspect, then write all the three: series inverter, parallel inverter, bridge inverter. So you can write any of the classification required. So simplest one is based on the number of phases or based on the nature of driving source. Just mention the aspect, write down the two available categories: single phase inverter, three phase inverter under this one number of phases, under driving source, voltage source inverter, and current source inverter. And accordingly you have to answer. You need not write all the classification types and all those things. And next, you are asked to write any two applications of cycloconverters continued. So, right, so applications of cycloconverters from the listed down things, you can write any two: static VR generation, excuse me, electric traction, cement mill and rolling mill drives, or speed control of high power. Any of the applications you can write any two will do good. Even if you write all the more than two and all of them correct, even if the applications you write are some, you write 5 applications, even though all are right, you will be getting only 1 mark. When specifically asked that you are asked to write only 2 applications, writing 2 applications which are proper, then also it will be given maximum marks. And next, that is all with part A. And next we will switch over to part B. Again, it comprises of 2 main questions, 5 and 6. Fifth question comes from the unit 3, that is AC voltage regulators and choppers. Sixth comes from unit 4, that is inverters and cycloconverters. From the fifth question, that is from this course objective and first unit, you have to write any of the questions given. That is, you have to answer either 5A or 5B. So just go through the questions. Explain the working of single phase half wave AC voltage regulators. Again, this is a 3 mark question. So explain the working of single phase half wave AC voltage regulators. Accordingly, you have to write. You need not write totally elaboratedly, uh, which may go on for the number of pages, which will take more than 10 or 50 minutes time, like that. The total duration for the question exam itself is 1 hour. Okay. Next, explain the working principle of chop. So we shall go through the answers. The first one is you are asked to explain. Actually, for part B, 3 marks, explanation sort of questions will not be given in general. Even if it were asked, explain the working of single phase half wave AC voltage controller. Obviously, whenever you explain the operation, you have to draw the circuit, you have to draw the waveform, and the explanation in very simple sentences, 2 or 3 sentences maximum. So, and just we will go through the concept first, then how to write the answer I will explain. It is half wave AC voltage controller. First, just call back our concepts. AC voltage controller is nothing but an AC to AC converter which allows total cycle to the load. That is, It allows both positive and negative half cycles to the load. Then what was the difference? That is the control of voltage. That is how you control or change the input voltage so that a different voltage, that is a lesser voltage, will be given to the load. In this case, V naught is always less than Vs, and how that is achieved is given with the name half wave and full wave. That will be, this is half wave. That is, the name indicates over here is the control of voltage is done only in the half cycle. That is, this is the load voltage waveform. See, in the negative half cycle, the full supply voltage is appearing across the load as it is, negative voltage. But the control or firing angle is shown only in the positive half cycles. Load is getting its voltage from alpha to pi, 2 pi plus alpha to 3 pi, next, that is 540 degrees. Likewise. And the triggering pulse to the gates of concerned SCRs are given only in the positive half cycles. But actually, you can also employ this control in negative half cycles also, keeping positive cycle as it is. This is where positive half cycle control is followed. If you want to control only the negative half cycle voltage, then positive voltage will be appearing as it is across the load, and negative voltage will be less. So as the total average voltage will be less, load will be fed with lesser voltages, and the power supplied to it will be less. Then what about the other cycle? You are achieving the control in only one half cycle. What about the other cycle? Other cycle is given to the load as it is. So for that purpose, you have to provide the path in reverse also, because the SCR conducts in only one half cycle. During the other half cycle, it will block. So during the other half cycle, a diode is provided, which is not a controllable device, or there will not be any control followed inside the other half cycle, in this case negative half cycle. That was the concept of single phase half wave AC regulator or voltage controller. That is, accordingly write it in simple sentences. That it comprises of only one control device, T1, and D is connected in anti-parallel to it, so that it will allow the load current to flow in the negative half cycle. SCR conducts in only the positive half cycle, and by varying its firing angle, the load voltage will be varied, and eventually power supplied to the load will be varied. That is the concept of half wave AC voltage controller. It consists of one SCR in anti-parallel with a diode. Control is achieved only in one half cycle, either positive or negative. It is up to you. In the positive half cycle, T1 is triggered at a firing angle of alpha. It conducts from alpha to pi. At omega equal to pi, that is T1 will be reverse biased and turns off automatically due to the zero crossover negative voltage applied. In the negative half cycle, the current flows through D, which should be forward biased and conducts from pi to 2 pi. So that is. So this is only for 3 marks. You need not explain very elaborately. Draw the circuit diagram, make a simple sketch of the waveform, just input and output, or even only load output voltage waveform will also do good. Only draw this and show the alpha, then also it will be okay. Likewise. So that was how to answer for the question working of single phase half wave regulator, and the other question is explain the working principle of choppers. Again, here also you can explain this for uh, that is, explain it elaborately, or also according to the marks. Just do it, make it simpler. You have to draw the circuit diagram simply, where the DC supply voltage is given to the load via a switch or chopper, which opens and closes or turns on and off at higher frequencies. And this is the load voltage waveform, where actual Vs actual Vs should be a continuous line DC, but it will be chopped and fed to the load. As a result, average voltage fed to the load will be lesser than Vs. This is the basic concept of work chopper. That is the working principle. Just explain it in simple sentences. The waveforms you may draw or not draw. It doesn't matter. Again, because it is only for 3 marks. Even if you want to draw it a single one. Need not draw all on the same graph itself. You can draw it correspondingly to this T on. This voltage will be there, or this also will only this figure will also meet the requirement. That is Vs continuous line source voltage. V naught will be this dotted line average voltage which will decrease because there is some T off. It is not getting the total voltage throughout the time over a given time. T off is there, so average load voltage supplied will be less. So you can also make a simple sketch of this and write the concept of the main thing working principle, that is it is nothing but a high speed semiconductor on off switch. It connects and disconnects the load from source at a high speed. So a chopped voltage reaches the load in place of the constant DC input supply. And this is the main thing you have to compulsorily write, that is load voltage V naught will be equal to Vs into T on by T on plus T off is equal to Vs into delta. This delta is nothing but your duty cycle, that is the turn on time by total time period T, that is T on plus T off, that is total T on T off. T is equal to T on plus T off, so T on by T or T on by T on plus T off will give you the average value. That average into Vs will give you the V naught. So it is duty cycle control. For you may write or not write. This is okay. It is up to you. You need not write these things. So just according to the marks, draw the circuit diagram, draw a simple waveform, and write the main concept of the duty cycle. And next, sixth question is from the fourth chapter, that is inverters and cycloconverters. The first one is draw the input and output waveforms of series inverter. Simplest one. Simply you are asked to draw, only draw. Draw the input and output waveforms of series inverter. Input is source voltage, output is load voltage. Draw the circuit of parallel inverter. Just draw the circuit of parallel inverter. There is no other mention of the circuit configuration, load, all those things. So whatever circuit which can be employed for the operation of parallel inverter, that can be drawn. So this is the first question, 6A. You can answer either 6C or 6B. Input and output waveforms. In this figure shown, all the waveforms are drawn including the gate pulses. But obviously input is not drawn. What is that input? Input is your sinusoidal voltage. So, I beg your pardon. It is an inverter. Input is a DC voltage. So just draw the input voltage Vs as a constant DC line over the given time axis. Then output voltage is this one, VL. VL is the voltage which is getting inverted, where load voltage is positive, or sometime it is getting negative, and after that off period is coming, and then again it decreases negatively and increases positively, and after that this will be continued. That is how you will be getting an alternate voltage which is actually far from sinusoidal voltage. We have to do so many things to make it a better sinusoid, and depending on this load current, You have to compulsory when it asks specifically input and output waveforms means you have to draw the load current also. Now compare this load current during the when the voltage is positive, current is increasing from 0 to maximum value, and after reaching as the voltage is becoming negative, increasing negative, current decreases and becomes 0, and then comes the turn off period. So this is the main thing where you have to make it sure that the outgoing SCRs are to be completely turned off, then only the next set of SCR should be turned on. This must be taken care of. So to actually explain and even to draw the input and output waveforms for your inverter, it is better to draw these total three waveforms in relation with DC input line. That is including of the capacitor voltage also. Due to this capacitor only, that is how this voltage will vary during its charging and discharging, all those things. And next one is you are asked to draw the circuit of parallel inverter. Again, it is not mentioned whether it is a simple parallel inverter with any resistive load or inductive load, and also whether it is with feedback diodes or not. So this we have both the circuits shown here. You can draw any of the circuit you want. And the second circuit is it is the circuit of parallel inverter with feedback diodes, and the first one is it is without any feedback diodes. This load can be resistive or combination of RL and all those things. Anyone will do good. So it is a DC supply. Obviously, center tap transformer is required where load is connected across the total secondary, whereas center tapping is towards the primary. This you have to remember. And T1, T2 and the capacitor is required to maintain the voltage and also for the discharging times. Uh, to supply during the turn off of the main supply. And it is proper to indicate the turns ratios on the transformer itself, which is written over here. You need not write, just indicate these turns ratios on the figure itself. That is turns ratios NAC, NBC equal to N2, likewise. Indicate them on the circuit diagram only. And then again this is 50%. Just indicate this as 50% tapping. The same thing can also be done for this diagram. Indicate the turns ratios and also mention the 50% tapping. You can draw either of these circuits, and when compared, obviously, when compared to the inverter waveforms and other even with the feedback diodes, this is the simplest of the circuit you can draw. By drawing this properly, you will be getting the required marks. So it is up to you to decide which takes lesser time and which you can draw better. So that is how it follows, and that is for part B. That is for part B. 6A and 6B are over. Next we will switch over to part C. So just go through part C. Again, it comprises of two questions, each from different units. And again from the same unit and same question you have to answer either or, that is from seventh question comes from third unit and eighth comes from fourth unit. From the third unit, that is AC voltage regulators and choppers, 7A or 7B, you can answer either of the questions. Likewise in the eighth question also. So to come to the seventh question, part C, where you have to explain the things elaboratedly for 5 marks. Explain the working of single phase full wave AC voltage regulator. Next, describe the voltage control modes of chopper. We'll go through the answers one by one. This is the circuit of single phase full wave AC voltage controller. Just now we have seen how the other circuit looks like for half wave, where a diode was there, and the simplest of changes, instead of one SCR and diode, we will be using two SCRs, or simply two SCRs connected in parallel, so that supply voltage will flow through the load during both positive and negative half cycles, and you can control the voltage by varying the firing angle. That is the concept of voltage regulators. And as you are able to introduce the control aspect by using SCRs in both the half cycles, it is called single phase full wave AC voltage controller. And all other things are same as half wave. Here full wave, so gate triggering pulses should be applied to the concerned SCRs in each cycle, in every half cycle, and that is the concept. And eventually, as the voltage fed to the load is less when compared to the actual supply voltage, because of this turn off times, or because of this gap where during this no voltage is applied across the load, so net average voltage applied across the load will be less, so power delivered to the load will be less. And the explanation, two SCRs T1 and T2 are connected in anti-parallel. In the positive half cycle, T1 is triggered at a firing angle of alpha, and it converts from alpha to pi at omega t equal to pi, that is zero crossover. At zero crossover, SCR1 or T1 automatically turns off, and there will be the turn off period. Load will not be getting any voltage again, because though the negative half supply is there, uh, T2 is not fired. It will be it will be forward biased due to the negative half cycle voltage, but gate triggering pulse will be applied at an angle of pi plus alpha, so it will conduct only from pi plus alpha to 2 pi. Again at 2 pi, at zero crossover, SCR2 will be turned off. At 2 pi plus alpha, SCR1 will be fired again. That is how the cycle continues. So that is the explanation for your working of single phase full wave AC voltage controller or regulator. You need not write anything others like applications, advantages, all those things according to the question. That is enough. Next, you are asked to describe the voltage control modes of chopper. So obviously describe means you have to elaborately explain, and voltage control mode is one of the aspect of control methods of chopper. You need not give this classification. Uh, just for the sake of understanding, control methods of choppers are divided into voltage control mode and current limiting control. And this is what you have to explain. That is voltage control mode or time ratio control, that is T on by T or duty cycle control. Again in that, variable frequency control FM and constant frequency control, that is pulse width modulation control. You have to explain both. So under voltage control modes, the first one is frequency modulation or frequency control, which we have discussed The chopping frequency F is varied. Just we will try to understand from the diagram. Again, it can be done two types. You want to vary the F means frequency. Chopping frequency is varied means chopping time period is varied. Chopping time period is varied. Again, you can vary the time period, chopping time period, by keeping T on constant and varying T off, or by keeping T off constant and varying T on. So in both the methods, ultimately the total time period will change and frequency will change. It is T. When you compare these two figures, okay, this is for frequency modulation only. Alright. For frequency modulation, just consider these two cases. T on is less, T on is more, T off is constant. So this is the main method used for frequency modulation, where T2 is greater than T1. T2 is greater than T1 because TF is same but T on 2 is more. So turn on time is more in the second case when compared to first case. So T2 is more. As time period is more, frequency will be less. For the second case, frequency will be less. Frequency is less, but what is happening over here? Turn on time is more. In this case, turn on time is more means duty cycle delta will be more. As delta is more, output voltage or voltage which is fed to the load will be more. That is, if you decrease the chopping frequency or increase the time period, load voltage increases. Instead of that, if you decrease the time period and increase the frequency, load voltage will be less. This is the average load voltage which is fed to the load, so it will decrease. So as duty cycle delta is more for more higher time periods, average voltage will be more. This corresponds to high frequency, and this corresponds to less time period. Sorry, this corresponds to high time period, less frequency, and more average voltage. And this first case corresponds to lesser time period and higher frequency, so less delta duty cycle, so less average voltage. That is shown over here. Delta 1 for this case it is 0.6, for this case it is 0.7. So ultimately Vs is 0.6 Vs, in this here it is 0.7 Vs. That is frequency modulation, which is not used owing to other problems. In most of the cases, more than 90% cases, we will be following the other case, that is pulse width modulation, where you will keep the time period constant. Instead of varying the time period, you will keep the time period constant. And how to do it? In most of the cases, again, we will keep the time period constant. This is time period. And this second slide was the other aspect of the frequency modulation. This is the other aspect of the frequency modulation, where again time period is changed by keeping turn on constant but varying turn off. Varying turn off. Again, this for frequency modulation. This thing also you have to mention. So time period is increased in this case, so frequency is decreased. Time period is increased but frequency is decreased. but eventually what is happening? T on by T, that is delta duty cycle is decreasing. So in this case what is happening? Again average voltage in the second case is less. When compared to the first case, see, second case has more time period. Second case has more time period, but and delta is more, duty cycle is more, so more average voltage was there. But in the same frequency modulation, in this second case has more time period, the same more time period, but what happens is duty cycle will be less in the second case, so average voltage will be less when compared to the first case. See, in the first case, with the same frequency modulation, second type is having more average load voltage. With the same frequency modulation, second procedure is having less delta and less average load voltage. So you can achieve different types of frequency modulation, but its maintenance control uh, is difficult, and also interference with the other circuits will be more disturbance and ripples and harmonics will be there, and also performance of the load will also get deteriorated. That is why frequency modulation is not used for most of the case of the choppers. The other things will be used. That is pulse width modulation control. It is simple and straightforward there. Width of the pulse, that too particularly turn on pulse will be changed. There is only one procedure. You will keep turn time period constant. Time period constant means frequency, that is chopping frequency is also constant. Chopping frequency is also constant. So to keep chopping frequency or chopping time period constant, either you can increase or decrease the turn on time or turn off time. You can do both, just similar to the case of frequency modulation, but for most of the cases it is not required. As you are increasing the turn on time or decreasing the turn on time and keeping the time period constant, turn off time will also vary automatically, so it is one and only the same. Keeping time period constant in both the cases, now you are increasing the turn on time when compared to the first case. Second case has more turn on time, so what happens, duty cycle will be more in the second case. Turn off is decreased, turn off is decreased in the second case. As T is constant now, so delta will be more in the second case, so average load voltage is more when compared to the first case. So average load voltage, as delta is more in the second case, average load voltage is more in the second case. That is the concept of constant frequency or amplitude modulation, or simply you are changing the width of the turn on pulse, that is pulse width modulation control, which is followed for most of the cases. Again, just explain the total procedure of pulse width modulation control in sentences. That is, chopping frequency F is kept constant by varying turn on time T on, duty cycle alpha or delta. Actually, it is delta. Some may also call it as alpha, but alpha, the term is specifically used most of the times for firing angle. That is why mention the duty cycle as delta. Duty cycle delta changes with T on is changed, and hence the average output voltage and current will change. As Frequency, it is constant frequency method. Turn off time is not varied, only turn on is varied. T on is varied by varying the conducting pulse width, and hence it is called pulse width modulation. So that is how the general working procedures of choppers is followed for describing voltage control modes. Voltage control modes by frequency modulation, pulse width modulation, both you have to explain again in terms of how duty cycle changes and how the voltage applied across the load changes according to the duty cycle. So that is for this seventh question, and now we will go through the eighth question. It is explain the working of single phase bridge inverter with R load. You are asked to explain the working with only R load, resistive load. So there is no headache due to the other inductive loads, and no feedback diodes are required. It is a straightforward question where it is a single phase inverter and that too bridge inverter. But it is not mentioned whether it is semi controlled or uncontrolled or fully controlled. But it is not given, just explain with fully controlled, and also in your syllabus you have only fully controlled inverter, that is comprising of all SCRs, all MOSFETs, all transistors. You can again, it is not mentioned whether it is SCR bits. In the syllabus also it was mentioned like that. So you can explain the inverter comprising of bridge of any controllable device for R load. So for that purpose, you have to draw the circuit, draw the waveforms and explain. Next, explain the basic principle of cycloconverter. You are asked to explain the basic principle. What is the actual principle behind the operation of cycloconverter to convert the frequency of the supply before it reaches the load. Just we will go through both the answers. You can answer either of the questions. So this is 8A answer, that is working of single phase full bridge inverter with R load. So circuit comprising of a bridge inverter with R load. Load is R. Full bridge circuit is there, and next it is comprising of all four SCRs S1, S2, S3 and S4. In this circuit it is drawn for feedback diodes also. If you draw the feedback diodes or not, no problem. You can either choose to draw it or not. As resistive load is there, again you need not bother of the feedback diodes also actually. So any circuit you can draw, and concerned waveforms also you have to draw. Next, this is another circuit, full bridge inverter circuit with R load where MOSFETs are used, load, and these are the input and output waveforms with concerned triggering pulses, gate triggering pulses, and how the output is load voltage is varying, which is a square wave in both the cases. For resistive load actually it will be square wave only, and this is a separate set of waveforms drawn for all types of loads, which we have discussed in our previous sessions elaboratedly. uh, Vs will be a continuous line, V naught is a square, I naught will also be square for R load. Actually, according to our question, these two waveforms will do good. You need not draw other things. But in this, it is also drawn for only inductive, combination of resistive and inductive, combination of RLC, overdamped and underdamping. Just try to recall, you need not draw these. So for whatever circuit, these voltage waveforms will relate. So just you can avoid this slide. You can draw either of these circuits and waveforms. You need not draw all. This is A bridge inverter circuit comprising of all SCRs and resistance and its waveforms. And this is a bridge inverter circuit comprising of MOSFETs and load. It is just shown as load. It is resistive, good, same waveforms in both. You can draw circuit and waveforms in either fashion. So simply go through. Supply voltage will be a constant DC current, DC supply. Depending on the sets of SCRs, you will control S1, S2 for make the load voltage as positive voltage, and S3 and S4 to make the load voltage as negative for negative half cycle. Accordingly, gate triggering pulses should be given during the when you want the positive half cycle. S1 and S2 will be switched according to the frequency and time periods. S3 and S4 again will be switched to get the negative half cycle according to the chosen frequency and time period. That is what you have to explain, and ultimately you will be getting only square wave across the load. There are no other problems as such, that is energy stored and delivered back, current lagging, voltage, negative voltages, all those things, and turn off times. Simply that will be a continuous cycle. For with MOSFETs also same thing can be achieved. T1 and T2 are fired. In this it is T4 shown as T1, T4, T2, T3. So okay, here this is T2 actually. This is T4, T3 and T4. T1 and T2 will be fired to get positive half cycle. T3 and T4 will be fired to get negative half cycle. Ultimately, it is a square wave. So you have to explain it in proper way to understand the working of single phase full bridge inverter with R load. And the next question is, you are asked to explain the principle of operation of cycloconverters. That is, you are not asked to explain particularly that is a step down cycloconverter or step up cycloconverter or voltage frequency controller as such. Just basic principle how the frequency will be varied in the given half cycle. In the given half cycle, how the frequency will be varied. To achieve finally the desired frequency, whether the frequency is varied in only in positive half cycle or only in negative half cycle or in both the half cycles, it is left to us depending on the desired frequencies, but it can be controlled in both the half cycles by just allowing the full half cycle or also by controlling the firing angle of the respective SCRs. So principle of operation, again it can be comprising of any controllable device, but we will be discussing it with SCRs. We have discussed with SCRs only. To show it, you have to draw this block diagram simply, or you can also draw the circuit diagram comprising of SCRs, which we have discussed. Either of these thing will do good, but you are asked to generalize it. This will also good. So this is your AC supply, and between the load and AC supply, you will be having these controllable power electronic devices. Just think of them as SCRs, positive group and negative group. When irrespective of the nature of the supply, that is at that particular instant, whether it is a positive half cycle or negative half cycle, depending on what you want, depending on the nature of half cycle you want across the load, that group you will operate. That is, even though positive and negative half cycles are coming from the input AC, if you want only positive half cycles to be fed to the load, you will be operating only positive group. Likewise, irrespective of whether the positive and negative half cycles at that particular instant of the AC signal, if you want only negative half cycle to be fed to the load, then only negative group will be achieved. And there will not be any turn off times in this case. Continuous half cycles will be entering the load. So if you want only positive half cycles continuously for two half cycles or three or four half cycles to increase or decrease the frequency, you will be using positive group. Likewise, if you want only negative group, you can also do that thing. That is how frequency will be changed. This was the concept which we have discussed for step down, again step down, again, and step up cycloconverters. You can draw one waveform for step down. For step down, many slides are there. For step up, only one slide is shown. But you have to draw the waveforms for both. That is step down aspect and step up aspect. You need not take all these firing angles, all those things. Just show input sinusoidal waveform and how positive group is operating to have only positive half cycles for some time, comprising of two full cycles, only positive, again for the next full cycles only negative. Again in these cycles firing angle can also be controlled, that you may not mention. It is not required, just basic principle how the frequency is varied. This is frequency is decreased. So to show it simply, this would be rather a simpler one. Input supply voltage in one cycle it is getting two positive half cycles. In the next one cycle it is getting two negative half cycles. Or when supply voltage is comprising two full cycles, load is getting only one full cycle. One full cycle. So frequency is decreased, that to become half. And in this, again, for two full cycles only positive, next two full cycles only negative, that is, it has become 1/4. So this you can draw either simply input and half cycle or 1/4 cycle, and next input and this step up, that is, in a given half cycle of the supply voltage waveform, in a given half cycle you are having two full cycles. You are having two full cycles where positive group, negative group, positive group, negative group, both are acting. So in one positive half cycle, load is getting two full cycles. See, in one positive half cycle, load is getting two full cycles. In the next half cycle also, load is getting two full cycles. So in one full cycle of the supply voltage, it is getting four cycles of the four cycles frequency. So this is multiplied by 4 increase of frequency. So draw an input supply voltage, a step up frequency, and a step down frequency, mentioning the its multiple, and then draw this block diagram and explain the operation like this. It mainly consists of two groups of rectifiers. Rectification only AC is converted, that is positive converted into negative according to the requirement. Negative is converted into positive according to the requirement. It is rectification sort of action only. And also during sometimes positive allowed as positive or negative is allowed as negative. So cycloconverters does all sorts of AC actions, that is AC to DC and also AC to AC. They act as regulators as well as rectifiers. So one is positive group and the other is negative group. The positive group allows all positive half waves and also converts negative half waves into positive half waves. Negative group likewise similar actions. By controlling the on and off of the positive and negative groups, the desired output frequency can be achieved. And also you can on and off of the positive and negative groups, and Also, the firing angles, the desired output frequency, and magnitude can be achieved. So both can be controlled, but their basic action is only frequency. If you apply this firing angle, that is voltage power control by voltage regulation action, there will be a lot of headaches, but that can be used for V by F control, particularly for speed control of induction motor drives. 90% cases, cycloconverters will be used to change the frequency only. To apply frequency and magnitude, it becomes very difficult. So that is how you should explain the principle of operation of cycloconverters, and and that is how we can answer all the questions and how we revise the concepts of the things to be followed for various concepts which we have discussed throughout our subjects, and that is enough for today's session. In this session, we have discussed and revised the concepts pertaining to Unit 3 and 4, that is AC voltage regulators, choppers, and inverters and cycloconverters, based on the midterm 2 question paper, and we have revised the concepts depending on the questions and answer pattern. And there ends the revision for midterm 1 and midterm 2 exams for 20 marks each. And then in the next session, in the following sessions, depending on the time, it may span over 1 or 2 sessions. We will be discussing again, we will revise the same concepts elaboratedly again for SEE, that is semester end examination, based on the model question paper given in the curriculum. Until then, thank you. We'll meet in the next session to revise for semester end examinations. Thank you.